Hey, what's up everybody? So in this video, we're going to be looking at how to deal with inequalities and quadratic functions. So specifically, I guess you would call it quadratic inequalities. So first thing we want to look at is maybe how to graph these. So you can just take each inequality and type it into Desmos, and it will graph it for you. So we're just going to do, I guess, one example here. Let's do this number 7 right here, and let's see what that looks like. So we're gonna open up Desmos, which is a free app. You can get it on your browser or you can download it, and we'll just type this in. So y greater than or equal to. You can use this little keyboard or keypad down here to type in that greater than or equal to negative x plus 4 squared minus 1. And then Desmos will graph this function for us. So we can see it makes a quadratic function. It's a solid line because it's a greater than or equal to sign. If it was just a greater than sign, it would be a dotted line here. Let's see. So the solutions are everything kind of on the outside of this parabola. Everything on the inside is not a solution to this. But there you go. So we could graph it. Now, if you click on it, you can get some interesting points. Like here's the vertex at -4, -1. So if you were trying to graph this on a piece of graph paper or something, you could find your vertex, and then we can see that it crosses the y-axis at 0, -17. So just some interesting points to help you kind of sketch a graph of this quadratic inequality. All right, let's go back over to here. So that's how to graph inequalities. Let's say now we wanted to graph a system of quadratic inequalities. So let's do number 11 here and work that one out, and then I'll leave the other ones for you to kind of practice on your own. All right, so we'll go back to Desmos, and let's type in these two new inequalities. So y greater than or equal to x squared plus 5x. And then our other one, we'll type into the second box, y greater than or equal to x plus 2 squared minus 1. All right, and then we can just take a look at both of these functions. Now, you can see we have two quadratic functions here. One thing I would recommend that you do is change the color to where they're both the same color. So a way you can do this with Desmos is press the little gear symbol and then click on the color, and you can change it to where they're both the same color. That's not what I meant to do. All right, and then you can see very easily where the two cross over. Now our question asks us to graph the system of quadratic inequalities and then state two solutions of the system. So those are just 2 points. Two solutions would just be 2 points that are inside the area that's kind of double shaded where the two graphs overlap. So we can see all this dark area in here would work, but none of this area in here would work because that would only be a solution of one of the quadratic functions, and none of this area out here would obviously work because those aren't solutions of either one. So we want it to be a solution of both because it's a system of inequalities. So two solutions, maybe 0, 10 would be one, and even 0, 20 would be one. So there you go, two easy little points there. Looks like, let's see, is this 2? Yeah, these are 2, so -2, 0 would also be a point that's inside that double shaded area. So anyway, that's how you would graph a system of inequalities, quadratic inequalities, and then find solutions inside there. All right, let's go back to our questions. One last thing we want to look at here is how we can solve an inequality algebraically. So we can use all of our tools at hand, whether we're using the quadratic formula, whether we're solving by taking square roots, whether we're completing the square, whatever method, factoring, whatever method that you want to use to solve these quadratic inequalities is fine. But this is how we're going to do this, and we'll just go with an easy example here so that we don't get bogged down into the algebra, even though this is an algebra video. I'll save the other two for you. But main idea is solve the corresponding quadratic equation. So we're going to solve 16x squared equals 100. Okay, so we're going to replace temporarily our greater than sign with an equal sign and solve that equation. So we'll divide by 16. So x squared equals, and then let's see, 100 divided by 16 is 6.25. Okay, and then we'll take the square root. So if we take the square root of both sides, we'll get x equals 2.5. But also remember, anytime we take the square root, we can also get a negative, so we'll also have x equals negative 2.5. Now, these solutions to this quadratic equation are our bounds when it comes to our solution to our quadratic inequality. So to figure out, if x is greater than or less than these bounds, I would recommend just typing this equation into Desmos to get kind of an idea for it. So if we go back to Desmos here and type this inequality into there, we'll have 16x squared greater than 100. And when we do that, we can see that it looks like our solution is going to be less than the negative 2.5. Remember, that's what we solved for, 2.5. So it looks like it's going to be less than 2.5, or it's going to be greater than 2.5. So less than 2.5 or greater than 2.5. So our solution here is going to be x is less than negative 2.5 and x is greater than 2.5. And we can see that from our graph, since that part was shaded in. Again, looking back at the graph, if it's greater than 2.5, so here's 2.5 right here, so it's greater than that. Here's the solution over here, it's greater than that, and then it's less than negative 2.5 over here. But everything in between is not a solution. This area right in the middle is not a solution. So that's kind of one way you can solve these problems. And then, of course, this is our answer right here. So x is less than negative 2.5 and x is greater than 2.5. And that's kind of how you would solve these. So again, solve the quadratic equation that's associated with the quadratic inequality, and then graph it in Desmos to figure out if it's greater than or less than those bounds that you find. All right. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer anything y'all have got. If you have any ideas, just let me know in the comments. And guys, I will see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.